When it comes to wall skimming or Andre, as the Francophone artisans call it, you need to get someone who really understands the work, or they will just, or else they will just waste your materials because this work is a combination of the POP cements and the home charm, which is a form of paint. Okay, so the two are mixed together in a specific ratio. Even with the mixture, if the person doesn't know how to mix it well, the work will not come out nicely. Okay, so today on this day we were doing wall skimming for a client. As you can see, before you start, the wall needs to be properly prepared, okay, with scrapers and people who really know what they're doing, so that the wall has a level surface before the the mixture of the POP cement and home charm is applied on the surface of the wall to give it a very nice finish. Okay, so the reason why we apply this POP mixture on the surface of the wall, which is called a wall skimming, is that after plastering of the wall, most artisans, the masons, they don't really do a very nice job. So the wall is very uneven in a lot of places. So when you decide to paint over it, it will not come out nice. So we use the POP, the wall skimming, which is the POP solution, to level the wall to make it smooth, so that when you paint, the paint really comes out very, very nice. It looks very beautiful. Okay, so and sometimes there are people who just leave it like this and use it. After the POP work like this, you can maintain it like this and just leave in it. It looks nice. But if you want to give it a different color too, that's fine. I always say that the wall skimming in itself is a color. Okay, so it all depends on what you want to do with it. Okay. There are few things that you need to get before you start your wall skimming work. Okay, one of them is something to cover the ground. Normally, artisans will recommend that you go and buy this black rubber that they sell in the market. It's a very huge one. Okay, not so thick, to cover the ground. It's just like the one we use during flow to give the flow a smooth surface. There's a black rubber. When you go to the market and you ask for a black rubber to cover the ground for painting, they will show you the one to buy. It's not difficult to get. Okay, so normally artisans will recommend that you buy that black rubber to cover the entire floor of the room before you do your skimming or painting, so that you don't have too much dirt on the tiles. You see, but the advantage, the situation with this particular job is that J.O.A Construction was the same company that handled the tiling work. Okay, so to save costs, we advise the clients not to throw away the boxes of the tiles. So you can see, as you can see in the video, we are using the tile boxes. After the tiles have been taken out of it, the boxes were not thrown away. We saved it and we used the boxes to cover the ground instead of going to buy the rubber, which is just extra cost for no reason. Okay, I always say that construction is all about creativity. If your worker, your contractor is not creative, you will incur a lot of unnecessary costs. Trust me. And with my team that does the scheming, not everybody can do it this way. Okay, there are people, when they are doing scheming, in fact, the whole floor will be covered with POP. They will waste half of your POP solution on the ground, and then they will use half on the wall. But with us, You barely have POP on the ground. You barely have it. So we didn't really need much covering on the ground. But um, covering the ground is a must. That I can assure you. Okay, so we just needed the towel boxes to cover the immediate floors from the wall, from the wall, and then we do our work. So as you can see in the video, not too much POP solution is on the ground. You can clearly see it, just very few ones, because we know what we are doing. Our solution mix is very perfect. It's nearly perfect. So once we do the mix and we are doing it, the workers know how to handle the scrapers very well. So you barely have POP cement on the ground. So as I said, if you are doing your tiling work, just save the tile boxes. And it goes for anything painting, whether skimming, whether painting, any work that you feel like there can be drops of materials on the ground that can stain the tiles. Just save your POP boxes. Don't throw them away. Save your tile boxes, sorry. Don't throw them away. Save all of them. When it's time for the work, just open them up and then use them to line. You can even use it to line the whole room if you want. There is no crime against that. You can use it. There is no law against that saying that it's a crime. So just to save cost, just get creative. And it's not just towel boxes. If you buy anything that is inside a box, WC, WC, that's the toilet seat. It also comes in the box. You can save that box. You don't necessarily have to go and buy extra rubber, because what I know from that one is that in most cases the rubber gets torn after the job and you throw it away. Next job you have to go and buy another rubber. So why not just save? The boxes are thicker, and if well done, it will serve the same purpose. Okay. Then even after the work, you can still you take off the stains from the boxes and still save the boxes for the next job until they are very weak that you have to throw it away. Okay. Yeah, so that's what we did. Our client didn't need to go and buy any rubber to cover the ground. We used the boxes from the tiles, and then we used to cover the ground. And the next thing is that make sure that every part of the building that needs to be plastered has been well plastered. POP cement serve as a form of plaster, but it is not 100% for plastering. Okay, so for example, we work certain jobs that you see after the plastering, before the clients had money. Construction is a process. So if you skip one before the other, you may incur double costs. So the client didn't have money to fix the door frames in the bedroom and washroom then. So after plastering, after the general plastering from the masons, the client finally had money to fix door frames. So he went to buy the door frames, and then they were fixed. But because you know how door frames are fixed, you have to crack the edges of the space before you can fix the frame, and then you patch it. After the patching, when the patching dries, then you properly dress it. That will be the work of the mason. It's a form of plastering. That's called dressing. You dress it properly to make it very nice and seamless. But unfortunately for the client, after fixing the frame, it took a while before he ordered the skimming work. So I think maybe he forgot to do it or something. So when we got there to do the skimming, the part where the frame was fixed was not plastered, and so when we did the skimming, we could not skim that part. So the mason had to come back later on, a few days later, to properly dress the area before we could skim the edges of the door frame to make it nice. Okay. So before your wall skimming is done as a householder, just make sure that every place that needs to be plastered has been plastered before you go for the skimming work, so that you don't incur double costs. Because after the POP skimming is done and you call the mason to come and do all that work, and with the mortar they throw it, so you have spillage sometimes at the roofing side, at the ceiling side and stuff. So when the POP, you go and order the POP guys to come back a second time, obviously they will charge you something. Yeah, so these are some of the things to note down before you start the work. And just get quality people to do your work and you'll be fine. You'll be fine.